It's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again. One cannot deny it. The podcasting nature, sitting across the table from you to disagree about Star Wars.
You're too good at that. I'm just gonna put that out there. That's eerie.
One cannot deny
If
the
you're
call.
gonna, if you
to
say,
say,
if I may, can you give me a "When I Was a Boy"? Can you give me one of those?
when I was a boy.
That's it. That's all I needed.
One cannot deny the call to say, all rise. Court is back in session.
Wow.
Welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. Born Again. Yeah, that tracks.
It does. It does.
So you're saying I got a good Fisk?
You're
I got a serviceable Fisk?
your Fisk might be this show's equivalent of Omni Comics Podcast's Jay Bane voice, possibly.
Oh, I miss Jay Bane voice. I really do. I miss Omni Comics Podcast too.
Well,
but none of us read comics anymore, so
I mean, you know,
whose fault is that? Certainly not ours.
there's a lot of factors involved, but I
Drew,
digress. Hi,
Drew, we're kind of back again.
it's been I'm literally looking up how
August.
long. It's been that's
August.
that's what my time code says. Yeah.
Yeah, folks, we tried before to get back into a regular swing of things, and life is just life, and life gets in the way, and.
Well, life is life,
Yeah.
and also, I think we said it before on the maybe in the August episode. I don't remember, but there was the kind of notion of like, you know, people talk and talk and talk, and do you?
We have talked about how the podcasting landscape has changed drastically.
Yeah.
Since we started this show,
And I mean, I was as we were getting into the mode here, just listening to the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Good vibes. That was a good day at the office for me when I wrote that. But you know, the funny thing about it, I forgot when I did this, but at some point in the past, I looked at like our review. We have reviews, by the way.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Someone commented like the song takes too long to get to the talking, and they could cut that down. And my only thought was like, bro,
Shut up.
well, yes, but also like, would you rather, in the podcasting landscape we
Right.
now live in, would you rather we sit here for 2.5 minutes and serve you up ads for AI slop and Omaha steaks and whatever other crap is advertised on most podcasts now? We give you a nice ad-free. Just vibe with us for the 30 seconds that the theme song takes, okay?
I mean, listen, if Omaha Steaks wants to pony up some sponsorship money,
please.
No, yeah, listen, we know our listeners. We know we're not probably garnering any massive new listeners. There was a thought when we first started this that maybe if we got a couple key guests, we could become, at best, Buffalo famous. But,
I've been Buffalo famous, trust me. It's in two realms I've been Buffalo famous. One is more fun than the other, but
so, but yeah. But we're here, we're doing it. This is mostly for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a therapy session, but I think we've always said, like, if Daredevil came back, so would we.
And he's back.
Yeah, and he's back, and we are. I'm not going to make promises. We're going to try, folks.
We'll try.
I can't promise anything.
I mean,
But
if the show stays good, I'll try.
yeah, to stand on ceremony.
Yeah.
Do you not have a beverage over there or something?
You got to do it in the Fisk voice.
Do not have a beverage.
Are
a cheesesteak.
That was a good one. I do.
What you drinking?
This is a leftover that Alan had brought over, and it's been sitting for a week or two. Let me hang on. It's a big boy. This is a Griffin Brewing Los Gigantes IPA. Do you like the can?
I do like the can. You know,
Very luchador.
I love me some luchadors.
Yeah. So it's a big boy. That's a 9%er right there. IPA. I'm all right with that. I don't get out of bed for less than 7%. just so you know, I have standards.
So
anyway,
for the I'm like, I know the answer to this question, but for the sake of the listeners, sir, how have you been? How have been your weeks? How are things?
Well, let's see. How do I want to answer that without getting us completely derailed into things I didn't necessarily want to derail the show with? I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm fine.
We're all fine.
We're all fine here. Now, how are you? No, I'm not there yet. I am fine, and I'm grateful to be fine. However, I'm vaguely gesturing right now. This is an audio medium, but Carl can see. I'm,
flailing your hands.
Look around.
Yeah.
It ain't good. It ain't good at all. It's pretty bad, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm like okay with it. Again, I'm fine, and I'll probably remain fine. Then again, because I'm a student of history, there is the whole, at first I didn't speak up because I was not. I did not speak up because I was not, and then there was no one left to speak for me. So, yeah, I'm okay now. But my vision of what's to come, I will be honest with you, is not so great. I'm pretty fearful of what's coming down the pipe. So in the meantime, I'm hanging in there. And that's all I can do. That's all I can really say without going way too deep into things that I don't want to get deep into here. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some not great stuff happening in the outside world, but we're here to kind of help you focus on things that can temporarily distract from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's extremes on both ends of the spectrum. I think the reality lies somewhere in between. So, but yeah, all right. But here we are. It's a Saturday night.
It is.
We did game night.
Mm-hmm.
Jen won.
Of course she won. Why do we bother?
I don't know. I had all the wild boars, Drew. I had all but one.
You didn't have all the wild boars.
Technically, I did. Because one of my wild boars was on a tree that counted twice.
Do you want to name drop the game so people don't just like, what the hell are you talking about?
We played a Forced Shuffle.
Okay.
Which is a card drafting, card playing, tableau building game that I recently acquired. It's a lot of fun. Really, really enjoyable.
I liked my second playthrough better than my first, but I still got a little chapped because I
think your strategy just came back to bite you in the butt in the end.
Yeah, that's fine.
You'll know better for next time.
Oh, sure.
That's why we play. We get better.
Why do we fall down, Bruce?
So yeah, things overall, can't complain.
Okay, I mean you can.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I checked the email before we started. We don't have any.
Well, you didn't put the signal out there, and you know what? That's fine.
I don't like to put the signal out if it's not 100%. Like if I was just coming over here just to record, then I would have put the signal out.
Gotcha.
If it was like a game night mixed in with it, and we don't know
50-50 shot.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Because like if other players showed up, the game would have gone longer. So
certainly.
So we're back here, folks. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about some shows, some trailers, some news, and then just kind of go from there. So let's kick it off, and let's fire right into it. Daredevil is born again.
He is.
The 2-episode premiere dropped this week, and on my new favorite thing that Disney does to annoy the living poop out of me.
The Tuesday night drop at 9 p.m.?
Yeah, 9 p.m. Like, just put it on, and the normal beginning of the day, like, if it's got to be 3 a.m. Eastern time, fine, do that. But, like, just this whole 6 p.m. Pacific.
I don't get it. I don't understand it.
It's annoying.
But I could settle. This is just me based on my schedule.
Yeah.
I could settle for like 8 p.m. even. Like, if it must be in the evening, 8 would be better. Especially when you drop a 2-part premiere.
Right.
And one episode's an hour and the other one's almost an hour.
And after you get through that first episode, you're like, well, I'm not waiting until tomorrow to watch the second episode.
I did wait, but it was hard. Jen's like, do you want to watch the next one, don't you? I'm like, yeah, but I also want to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
I
at
can
that
wait.
age. We're at that age. So just some quick background. Daredevil Born Again. Some interesting history leading up to this point, as with many Marvel projects. It was being shot prior to the writer's strike. I almost said prior to COVID, because time is a flat circle. Prior to the writer's strike. Then the writer's strike happened, and apparently the executives of Marvel sat down, looked at what they had, and went, no, this is not the direction to go in.
And we talked about that.
We did.
On this show, and I'm just going to restate what I said then real quickly, a condensed version. It's mind-bending that they got to that point. Yeah. Because what were you doing? What show did you think you were making here?
Right.
So, again, that is mind-bending to me and baffling, but full marks, they recognized it, pivoted, and here we are.
Yeah, I think also like a temperature check of where we're both at with the Marvel, with the MCU as a whole, is that I'm very down on it currently, and you're at your it's fine stage.
It's fine. It's not. Look, Endgame is a high that will never be duplicated again, and I think it's fool's gold to try. So
but they did.
I don't know that they did. I think they're just doing what they're doing.
They tried to go bigger.
Did they?
Yeah.
Bigger than Endgame.
They thought the multiverse was going to be bigger.
But they never quite got it off the ground. Like they teased it enough.
To be fair to them, they had 2 major things derail their plan: the pandemic and the writer's strike.
I would actually say they had 3 if you want to count. Oh, oops. The guy that we cast as the main villain of this whole thing, he's got problems. We can't use him anymore.
Yeah.
So
leeway. But, like, I've been disappointed post-Endgame.
Yeah.
I've been disappointed by more than I've been excited about. And I've enjoyed.
Fair. That's fair enough. I'm not down on it. I'm just not as up on it as I was. I still think they've done a lot of good. Like, this is I hate that I'm making this comparison.
Right.
This is the Star Wars problem for me. Not the problem. It's a Star Wars comparison.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it now.
Yeah.
Is it all good? No. But there still is good. And I'm okay with that. And like the stuff that brought me here was all great, and I'm thankful for it. You got me. I'm always going to be here for it. So as long as you give me something once in a while that really delivers, I'm going to give you another shot, even if something else is like not up to the level. That's fine.
I think it's also important to point out, like, there are some key sour notes that you have not indulged in, namely Eternals, Secret Invasion, Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen those.
Okay.
And it was partially like, well, life. I mean, I'm not at the theater opening night for everything anymore because I can't be. I haven't seen the new Cap movie yet, and
Neither have I.
for me, that's almost blasphemous because I'm Cap guy. But dude, time and availability for me is difficult, and I'm even if it's a mid movie, which people I don't know. The temperature of that movie to me is like most real people that I trust say, yeah, it's good. Is it great? No. Is it Winter Soldier? No. But it's good. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then you know what? If I don't get to the theater to see it, I'll be a little bummed. But I got Disney Plus and it'll be on there, and I will watch it as soon as it drops. So, I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm okay. I'll get to it. It'll be there for me when I need it.
Yep. So, before we get into the in-depth, I think to put my thoughts in a nutshell is that Daredevil is definitely back.
It feels like he's back. It feels like we're so back.
Marvel, not yet.
No, we got a ways to go there. A lot of
stuff to come in the summer, which we'll get to later. But let's talk about Daredevil.
Sure.
Yeah, we kind of launch right into it in the beginning of the first episode, where we get a revisit of the classic. Can you call it a trope at this point? The hallway fight.
It's a trope for this show.
It's a welcome trope because
that's fine.
There's never really been a bad one.
I expect it in this show, and they didn't even wait. They just said, "We're just going to do this now." Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we get right off the bat.
Well, first we see our heroes, our trifecta.
Yeah.
And they're doing good. They're doing stuff and things. They seem happy. Everything's great.
Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige.
Firm is in good standing. They're successful. And then
Bullseye shows up.
Holy crap, does Bullseye show up?
Yep.
I didn't know what was going on at first, and as soon as I saw the dude put the glove on with the Bullseye symbol on, and then he put the mask on. Now, granted, it's not the exact costume, but listen, it's fine. Well,
I liked it.
I'll put some money down to say by the end of the season, or maybe next season, because the actor is coming back.
Yeah.
Spoilers. That's why you're here.
Yeah. By the way, full spoilers.
I got a feeling you're gonna get some classic Bullseye, in my opinion.
The only thing I don't, because that's one of the tougher suits to make look good on a screen. I would think. I think if they just put the Bullseye on the top of the mask,
that's what I think you're gonna get. That's what I think you're gonna get.
That's really all I needed, because I really liked the suit as it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I liked it especially because it just shone the eyes, and that brief shot of the lights flickering and you see his eyes terrified as Matt's coming up the steps after him. Just that's right off the page out of a comic book. That was great. But we get a fight at Josie's, and the fight, we were talking about this earlier. The fight is great, except when it's not. And when it's not is not because of the choreography or the emotion behind it. It's because of dumb things they didn't need to do, like CGI smoke.
Yeah. The effect of it, the execution of the effect took away more than it added.
Yeah.
But, again, I'm okay with it. The sheer brutality of it was, man, they were just going ham on each other. And this is in the first 3 minutes of the show, and we're doing this already. And Bullseye's, meanwhile, is just tearing through Josie's, killing people.
Yeah.
While Daredevil's chasing him, and oh my god,
it's full on comics Bullseye,
brutal, just brutal,
and it's a hit. It's unclear if it was I'm guessing it was scheduled to be a hit on all three of them.
Well,
but
we don't know. And I have suspicions we're going to find out later. He didn't do that because he felt like it. He did that because he was hired to do it. So, then again, there's season 3 of the previous series left things such that he probably has an axe to grind with Daredevil. So, But
he also didn't know that Daredevil is Matt.
Well.
So
Well, he does now.
It goes suffice to say
Or
that,
does he?
No, Matt kept his mask on until after he...
I guess we're glossing over something before the fight happens.
Foggy gets shot.
Foggy, man, we lost Foggy.
We lost Foggy.
Presumably.
Yeah.
And I say that only because he's died a couple times in the comics. Except he hasn't really died.
Because Drew.
Yes.
Shout out to Dan Larson. Multiverse.
That's one avenue they could take, but given this is a street level show, I'll do you one better. Out of the Ed Brubaker run of Daredevil, witness protection. They faked his death in the comics in a similar... He got stabbed, and it was a similar situation where Matt could hear his heartbeat up until he couldn't anymore,
right.
And Matt presumed he was dead, but when in fact they took him by ambulance away and they put him in witness protection. They got him,
right.
They got him stabilized, and before anyone knew, he was taken away for whatever. He later came back.
Yeah.
In the show, it's a little more definitive because Matt literally hears his heart stop beating on the street, and Karen is there. He seems pretty dead.
Yeah.
Bummer. And I know some people are kind of upset about Foggy dying. I mean, I'm upset about Foggy dying, but some people are like mad about it. To those people, I would just say, listen, I feel you, but it's still better than what happened to Karen Page in the comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love Kevin Smith to death.
And that's...
you're
talking about Guardian Devil. I thought you were talking about...
Let's widen the scope a little.
All the stuff Frank Miller did to
I was just going to get there. Let's widen the scope a little. Karen Page, historically in the comics, oh boy. Frank Miller put her through the ringer.
Yep.
In the Born Again comic where... And now in hindsight, when you look at Frank Miller's repertoire, it's like, that's so Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Basically dragging a woman through the mud just because man hero need motivation. We call that fridging in the comics industry. Not great. And then Kevin Smith basically killed her because, again, Matt needs story arc, kill person close to him. I'm not saying it's lazy, but it's kind of not great.
I don't think it's necessarily lazy. I think it's more, given the situation, specifically what happened in Guardian Devil, the storyline that Kevin Smith wrote that Karen ends up dying in. I think given the situation of where it happened, if there wasn't some sort of casualty out of that situation, then you are taking a lot of value and threat away from Bullseye as a villain.
Sure.
And as the character he is supposed to be. Guardian Devil's still one of the
it's great
storylines.
Don't get me wrong, it's great. I'm just saying the kill the girlfriend is the trope. So Foggy dying here in place again. Foggy's my man. I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah,
but we still get Karen, and it's a new dynamic, and it's fine.
Yeah, and also in this scene, we're introduced to two new characters. Cherry,
retired cop, lamenting the presence of vigilantes on the streets, and we get our first look at White Tiger. Briefly, in a news clip, yep. And then Kirsten McDuffie. Kirsten.
Yeah. McDuffie.
She, from the comics as well.
Yep.
One of Matt's lawyer pals.
Yep. And eventual love interest.
Listen, if there's a woman introduced in Daredevil, you just presume it's going to be Matt's love interest eventually, okay?
So, yeah. And then at the end of the fight, when Matt takes off the mask, Cherry's up there and he sees him, but Matt looking like a pincushion.
Man, he was taking damage and still going, man. Yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
But I honestly, as brutal as it was, man, we knew what to expect. You know what to expect out of all this, I suppose. But you also know Matt Daredevil as a character, he rides that line, and he won't. Again, he's him and his big philosophical debates against the Punisher, like what he will and will not do. When him and Bullseye are beating the crap out of each other, they finally get to the rooftop, and they're still going at it. Matt gets the upper hand. He hears Foggy's heart stop beating. He knows he's dead, and he doesn't even hesitate. He just nonchalantly chucks Bullseye off the roof.
I think that even in that moment, Matt knew he was going to survive, because
he has survived it before.
There's a way to throw a person off a roof in which way you want to kill them.
The Dick Jones way.
Yeah. But Matt just kind of like doesn't necessarily throw him off, as just kind of lets him go.
Oh, he lets him go. He knew what he was doing.
It's not like it's a super high roof either.
He went splat, though.
He bounced. I mean, don't get me wrong. He bounced.
He bounced. Yeah, he sure did. And this isn't even the first time.
Yeah.
Do we know that they didn't establish this in the show, did they? Is Bullseye enhanced to some degree?
He is. They grafted a metal to his bones, at least to his spine and skull at the end of season 3.
Okay, so maybe Matt knew
Obviously,
that.
it's not adamantine.
Yeah.
So
okay, fine.
And then after all that, we jump forward 1 year.
1
later,
year.
and
Yeah.
that's when we kind of get into the meat. Like Matt has stopped being Daredevil
again.
I wonder.
It's fine.
Who has quit their persona more, Matt Murdock or Peter Parker?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Peter, but only because Spider-Man has a lot more comics and a lot more series.
Yeah,
Daredevil has
fair.
one title. Spider-Man has like 4.
Yep. So we're 1 year later, new practice, new polished suit. He's uptown
Still
now.
doing good.
Still doing good. Cherry's working for him as an investigator. And we see that Karen has been, there's like some turmoil.
Yeah. After Foggy died, she left.
Yeah. There was, I know you and I have talked about it. There was a question of how far would Disney go with the feel of the show in comparison to the Netflix one. And I think obviously it's been answered. We had to wait like a decade plus to get an F-bomb in the MCU, and now we're getting them left and right. Which I
don't mind. I don't care. It's fine, because this is what it is.
It's fine, but at the same time there's also a sense of trying too hard.
Oh, I don't feel that. It feels like, natural for this world.
Guys, trust us, we're edgy. We're doing like, yeah, all right. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I have to see how the rest of it plays out. Like, but again, the vibes, they established the vibes in the first 20 minutes, and the vibes are definitely back. Seeing D'Onofrio's Fisk again.
But I'm not gonna lie, seeing everyone again, I'm just like, because before Fisk shows up, we see Vanessa. You embarrassed me in front of Vanessa. You got it. I
Vanessa.
Can't do it. You're better at this than me.
Vanessa.
He shows up.
I was broken.
She's running things.
There were 2 things that kept me going.
I have to say, he's looking good for a guy who got shot in the face.
He got better.
He clearly got better quickly. I guess we should just quickly get people up to speed who may not know. Wilson Fisk, last seen in Hawkeye. Well, hang on. 2 things. Hang on. I'm getting to that. First scene before last scene. First scene in the MCU in Hawkeye.
Right.
Then shot in the face. Well, presumably shot in the face by Echo in the alleyway at the end of the Hawkeye series, leading into the Echo show, which I watched. I don't know if you did or not.
I didn't finish it.
Okay, it's good. I'm sorry. Like
I didn't. It wasn't because
good.
I wasn't enjoying it. It's just Like
There's
we
good-
discussed, time.
I understand it. I enjoyed it. I hope we get to see her again because I think the girl who plays her is fantastic in the role. I'm okay with more Echo. I mean, the changes to her origin and stuff, take or leave. Whatever. It's the MCU. We got to roll with it. But all the performances were great. And then when D'Onofrio shows up in that show, guess what happens? It's immediately a better show. Like, you get all of that background with him and her. And then at the end of that show, they plant the seed for where we're going.
Right.
That being, Fisk is back, and he has he wants to be mayor. He wants to be Danny DeVito Penguin, like Burgess Meredith before him. So he's back, and he tells this to Vanessa, and clearly there's, well, I mean, she's doing the crime things. But now he wants to not do the crime things. He wants to be the mayor of New York. But I think he still wants to do the crime things.
Yeah.
Anyway. Interesting. And clearly he's been away, and she's been unaware of where the hell he's been. So there's tension there.
Yeah, there's two things the show is doing. One thing the show's doing, one thing the show might be doing, which we'll discuss later in the second episode of Daredevil, not in the next episode of Us. Clearly drawing parallels between Fisk and those who support him and modern day.
Mm-hmm. It's who could they be possibly talking about?
Yeah. And like,
careful now.
Oh, sorry. Art imitating life, time iron tradition. But again, like seeing the callbacks like Red Hook, seeing some guys in tracksuits. Mentions later in the show of people dressing up as a spider.
Yeah.
Like the way they're kind of folding it in all together while not shoving it down your throat.
They're threading the needle very well. Like, we're here for Daredevil. We don't need to be all encompassing MCU.
Right.
But you can understand the world that Daredevil lives in. He's not in Avengers Tower. He's not, this world is clearly very street. And that's reflected even in like Ben Urich is dead, but his niece, BB Urich, now has her own her news show or whatever that she does on her own, and that's all street interviews. Yeah. And that's a neat addition. We're getting kind of like this voice of the people on the ground vibe about Fisk, about vigilantes, we're kind of feeling what real people in the MCU. Right. Now, if this is the MCU now. We're getting real people's feelings on all of this,
right?
Which is interesting. It's cool,
and this is like
it's as grounded as it's ever been.
Right. Kind of getting back to where we're both at with the MCU. This is something that kills me because you see how good the vibes are.
Mm-hmm.
You see how well the show's done. I mean, spoilers for a review. We both really liked the show.
Oh, yeah.
Both episodes. And it kills me because what was I always saying the direction Marvel should have gone in post-Endgame?
Street, smaller.
Go smaller.
Yeah.
You're never going to go bigger than what you just did. So the best thing to do is not to try right away to go bigger. Spend some time, go smaller, go more interpersonal, go street level, and set up Fisk as the big bad of the whole thing.
Well,
and it's just like,
I'm here for that. You're here for that. But a global box office,
I think they would. I honestly, if you did that on a cinematic level, to the level of quality that Marvel had produced for the 10 years prior, I don't think the receipts would have gone down.
Look, I don't know. I have no idea. But I think that people were accustomed to, we have big Thanos just showed up, like, galactic threat. Now we're afraid of Vincent D'Onofrio. Like, I get why they wouldn't do what we would do. But here's the thing. Now we have television. If you want to do this, it seems like they're doing it. We have Daredevil now. And it feels like they're kind of thinking about getting the old Defender gang back together again. They're thinking about it.
Yeah. We haven't heard, I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to hope, but I'm not going to speculate.
And not for nothing, but what was there's been a lot of TV shows.
Right.
Me, personally, I've liked them all. I have not seen Secret Invasion, so forgive me there. But everything else, I have enjoyed a lot. But the one I enjoyed more than let me think about that. Yeah, I think the one that I enjoyed more than the others, to my surprise, or not maybe, was Hawkeye. And that was a grounded, character-driven story.
With lesser... That it was based off of one of your favorite comics.
That does help, but to be fair, only in the most... in the vaguest sense, because the character is very different in the movies than he is in the comics. In the comics, he's a single bachelor, whatever. Right. In the MCU, he's married, he's got a family. Like, there's this whole other dynamic going on, and yet that show to me was a lot of fun. I really liked Hawkeye. Yeah,
I liked Hawkeye too. I really liked She-Hulk.
I loved She-Hulk. Unabashedly love She-Hulk. I don't care.
Yeah,
y'all can stop crying about it. It's good.
It was what the comics were. Those.
You know what? Hot take. We'll get back into it. My hot take is anyone that's yelling and crying about She-Hulk has never read a She-Hulk comic in their life. Right. They're only peripherally aware of the character because they have Marvel trading cards, and they thought that She-Hulk was supposed to be this super serious She-Hulk or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, dude. She was Deadpool before Deadpool.
Yep,
with the fourth wall breaking and whatnot. So
stop.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
Was it weird when she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion? Yeah, I'll give you that. But the rest, I'm here. It was good. I enjoyed it. Matt in the yellow costume, and he gets to have a fling with She-Hulk. Dude, come on. You're speaking my language here.
Who of the Avengers roster has Matt not bedded down? That would be a shorter list.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fisk is back.
He's back. That first episode's all about setting things up. Bullseye goes to jail. In a great scene in the courtroom. The guy's hands in bags and whatnot. I love that all the attention to detail there. Like they're treating him like a super criminal because he is one.
Yeah. It seems like with the death of Foggy, the disappearance of Karen, it feels like you can kind of see the cut and paste from what they had previously filmed to what they did again.
A little bit.
There's a stark feeling of shifting between, the Netflix show's back to, this is the new Disney Plus show.
The only thing I felt that in, and that this is only in hindsight after watching both episodes, I feel like before they did the revamp, they were just going to drop in with Foggy and Karen already gone, which we knew they were not part of the cast.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they did, at least in the first two episodes, is they shot the beginning. To show us how we got here. So they shot that scene in Josie's with Bullseye and the murder of Foggy. They shot that, and then they shot maybe the scene in the hallway with Karen where she's upset with Matt over. Then again, for all we know, the death of Foggy was planned all along. They just weren't planning on showing it. So I don't know. Because again, I think yes, there's a slight difference in style between the MCU and Netflix production value or whatever.
Right.
But overall, man, it feels like we picked up right where we left off.
It's also very possible that it's because the majority of these first two episodes do not take place in Hell's Kitchen.
No.
And there was a very distinct visual language that the Netflix Hell's Kitchen had to it.
Yeah. Well, they also acknowledge in the show that the kitchen's different now. It's I mean, and not for nothing, if you've never been to Hell's Kitchen in the 21st century, it's not like the comics at all. It's very gentrified, and it's pretty hip. So we gotta, it's fine. It's fine.
So, and then we have the scene that was probably the best scene in the 2 episodes. The sit down at the diner with Matt and Fisk. It's
pretty crazy. Matt can't believe that New York is buying Fisk as a credible mayoral candidate. And it's like, if I didn't live through the last decade, Carl, I would be with him. Like, yeah, I can't believe it, but I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah, this is what happens. The unlikeliest of people will somehow fool a lot of people.
So there are certain characters in comics that have certain adversaries in comics that have a level, that have the type of relationship that can pull a scene like this off. Matt and Fisk, Batman, the Joker.
Sure. It's the arch nemesis. Arch nemesis.
But not like every arch nemesis can necessarily do that. I think there's like a select few. But again, this scene, like, we're kind of setting the table for where these 2 characters are at.
It's interesting in that that sit down was fantastic, but acting, chef's kiss. Every y'all are doing the work. But Fisk is how do I want to? You actually wonder. Now you doubt, you have to, his true nature.
Yeah.
We know this. But D'Onofrio's performance is so good. And what you wonder, is he really trying to turn a new lead? Like, he makes you wonder. You almost believe him.
I mean, obviously he's not, 100% pure intentions, because we see how he handled the commissioner.
Right. Well, that comes later.
Yeah.
But in that first episode, you don't get that yet.
Right.
You just get him the run up and the sit down with Matt where he's telling him what he wants to do. And again, it's like, I maybe, and you also know that he's at odds with Vanessa a little bit. Is it because she's still very much in the crime game, and he's now pulling away due to, change of heart after being shot? You almost believe him, but then he gets elected in the next episode, and you start to see like, oh no, he's gonna run this just. Boy, oh boy! Again,
like a syndicate.
Art imitating life. He's gonna run it like a crime boss runs things.
Yeah,
yeah.
What they did with Vanessa was interesting. And it's not unprecedented, but seeing the position, the description of how their relationship was after season 3, like apparently he disappeared, like the timeline between the end of season 3, Hawkeye and Echo, and now is a little sketchy, a little not fleshed out, but very interesting to see, because originally, like, they had the character, but they did not have the original actor.
Yeah, I'm so glad they got everyone back. Yeah. I cannot stress enough how, if they would have recasted, man, it's big fake Aunt Viv vibes. No, man. No, you're not Ron.
You're not Ron.
So I'm happy that everybody came back. Yeah, so they have the sit down, and now we know our status quo. Fisk is going to be elected mayor. He's hardcore against vigilantes. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Running on the platform of Law and Order. Gee, oh my God, art imitating. So, with that being said, Law and Order and the vigilante situation.
Yeah.
We already got the preview of White Tiger. Then we get to see White Tiger or we don't know it's him yet when it happens.
Right.
But we see a guy go down the subway platform and sees two guys assaulting somebody. He tries to intervene. They tell him to butt out. It's none of his business.
Gets into a fight. One guy gets accidentally tossed in front of a subway train. Wasn't intentional. Like you do.
It happens. It happened.
Yeah.
And it turns out that these two guys that were assaulting this other guy were cops. And they arrest said person, and we find out later, oh, yeah, by the way, he's White Tiger.
Right.
Now, can I just I have to laugh, and I have to laugh at it because there's the scene later when Matt is in the judge's chambers.
I know where you're going.
with the DA.
Your Honor, he wasn't wearing his magical amulet.
Yeah. They name drop the magical amulet like 2 or 3 times. Even when he's talking to Matt in prison, when White Tiger's talking to Matt in prison, he's like, I didn't have my magical amulet, and it like. But they don't tell you.
You do.
They don't tell you anything else.
Yeah.
Like what? Like you want to expound on that? Nope. Magical amulet. Sure. What'd it do? Don't worry about it. Okay.
Now, I am primarily familiar with the character of White Tiger through the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series.
Okay.
Where it's a female.
Yep.
So I don't have a ton of background on this character.
You're making me go back into my memory banks of Daredevil comics. My knowledge of White Tiger is from Daredevil comics from the 2000s. And I forgot when the changeover happened because it was Hector at one point, and then I forgot the circumstances of how it ends up transferring to it's either his wife or his daughter, maybe his sister, I forgot, but it's a female White Tiger thereafter. I don't recall. Right. But spoilers, magical amulet gives him some strength and speed.
Yeah.
Vigilante. Street level vigilante.
Strength of the bear, you might say. Speed of the puma.
I too watched the Brave Star Secret Galaxy episode this week. Yeah. I still have my Brave Star toys. I'm the one guy
you're the one guy.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It was a good line.
I never had anything from that line, surprisingly.
It could have been something. It should have been something.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Didn't pan out.
All right. So I want to.
Matt's defending White Tiger.
Yeah. I was going to say a lot of what's happening in episode 1 and 2 of this mirror the Karen arc from the first season of Daredevil to where they find her. Matt uses his powers sort of to kind of find Hector in the same way he finds Karen in the first season. So we've got a lot of mirroring going on here. And also, real side note here, I think it's really funny, like for all the flack the movie takes, the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, it is still, I think, the best visual representation of Matt's powers.
Visually, yes. But to be fair,
it's not a great movie.
No,
but there are definitely some things
that.
they
the director's cut is better, but it's still not great.
Yeah.
We're not here to rehash that. No, visually speaking, yeah, you get a good visual representation of Matt's powers in the film. But the thing I kind of like about the show is that they've only done a visual representation, I think, once.
They did it couple
maybe
times.
Twice.
Yeah, not a lot in the original one.
They really hold back on it, and I feel like that's intentional. Maybe it's budgetary, but I like that they don't do it.
Right.
You know enough that Matt doesn't need to see, right? And when they do those moments when they show you what he sees, it's usually very impactful. Like they save it for when it really, really, really matters. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched the Netflix series. They seem to be leaning in hard on Matt's powers in the first 2 episodes of the new show.
Yeah,
at least his auditory powers.
I think because, they're leaning more into the Marvelness of it.
Okay.
And part of that is showing, not telling. I don't say that in a bad way. I just say that's just kind of part of the visual language that Marvel's developed with their shows and films. But yeah, it's just something I noticed that like there's still like if you want like a good description of how they actually work, the film is like pretty spot on.
It is. But you still got to suspend some disbelief. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Marvel product. Of course, you got to suspend disbelief. What do we think of Matt's new love interest? Is she a character from the comics, or is she made for now, folks?
See, again,
disclaimer: like when was the last time you read regularly Daredevil comics?
I'm at least 6 years ago. At least,
I think.
I know.
Hey man, read a little bit into.
Had a kid and
Chip Zdarsky run.
Okay, that's about where I dropped out.
Yeah,
and not because it was bad, but just because
Chip Zdarsky is a great writer.
That coincided with kids.
Yeah,
so
kids and just like comics as a whole. Just
as a whole, yes, but Daredevil was always one of my. He was always going to be my one exception. Except again, time just got away from me.
So I'm not sure if she is from the comics or not.
I'm unsure as well. My recollection from the era that I read, which is basically everything from the Kevin Smith run up until 6 years ago. So we're talking 18, almost 20 years of comics that I have a memory bank of. I don't recall her. So maybe she's from a newer series. Maybe she's made for the show. Either way, she is a therapist, right?
Yes.
And it was introduced to Matt by Kirsten McDuffie,
right?
Who set them both up on
under pretenses that they needed each other's professional service.
Yes, that's not a euphemism. That's literally what. Yeah. But they go ahead and hit it off anyway,
right?
Because of course. So yeah, I don't know.
So here's my question: is we know we're getting Muse.
Okay. Are you going to ask what I think you're going to ask?
Well, no. I think we can safely assume that the kid who
was in line to get the autograph, that's Muse, right?
That's going to be Muse.
It's got to be.
Is this character simply here to be killed by Muse?
How much? Well, I say this as a fan of Daredevil. How much more motivation does Matt need? How much more heartbreak and love interest death does he need in his life? Again, I say this as a fan of the character where this happens on the regular to him in the comic book.
Yep.
I hope not. And I don't think so, only because she also has an arc with Fisk now, as we see. She is now doing therapy sessions between Fisk and Vanessa.
Right.
So I feel like she's going to make it through because she's involved with both characters. If she was just involved with Matt, I would say that she's an easy target to just be cannon fodder for, the villain to offer. I don't think that's where they're going to go.
I think there's some very predictable paths they could go with this character, none of which are really interesting. So I'm hoping they kind of buck the trend and don't. Like, the one path is she's killed by Muse.
Right.
More motivation.
Yeah.
Finger quotes for our audio.
Yeah, medium. Just put her in the fridge if that's the case.
The other is Matt rescues her from him, but throughout the course of it, his identity is revealed to her, and she says she doesn't want to be part of that world, yada, yada, yada. Break up, more motivation.
Sure.
Quotes.
I mean, Carl, we have read comics and watched movies before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Fisk thing could be interesting, but, like, I don't see, it's not necessarily a bad character. It's just not a character I'm really interested in right now.
It's like, 2 episodes.
If it's not,
let's see where it goes. It's like, fine.
I know Matt has his reputation, but honestly, if it's not Karen or Elektra, I don't necessarily need him to have a love interest.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
Yeah, I know. So
Can I just, as we're on the, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to talk about it again, so I'm just going to bring it up now. I don't think the comics have ever brought it up again, and that's like honestly a mind-bending thought. During the Bendis run, Matt met a blind woman named Mila Donovan and fell in love, and they got married, and then Mr. Fear showed up and gassed her with his fear gas or whatever and permanently broke her brain.
So, Scarecrow?
He's basically Scarecrow. He's Marvel's. He's Daredevil Scarecrow.
Gotcha.
And
but isn't there
she's
a Scarecrow in Marvel?
Yeah,
there's a Scarecrow in Marvel.
Okay, but this is
He's
Mr.
a Ghost Rider.
This is Mr. Fear. I'm just telling you what it is. And she ends up in an insane asylum, and I'm pretty sure that's just where they left her and never touched that thread again.
Wow.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like last I checked, they put her in the insane asylum, and that was it.
Right.
And we never talked about it ever again.
So
weird.
I want to jump to the end of the second episode.
Well, the very end.
The very end.
Because there's some plot points in there we want to talk about.
What other ones?
Well, foreshadowing where we're going. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, so Matt's on the trail. He somehow deduces. He knows that White Tiger's innocent,
right?
By his human lie detector. Yep. He knows. He tails one of the cops.
This is where I was going.
Okay. Yeah. He tails one of the cops. Well, we're probably dovetailing into the same point. So let's follow it. He tails him home and waits. And through his hearing, he hears him get a phone call saying,
"Well, no, it's not the cop he's tailing. It was the guy that the cops were beating up in the subway."
No, you missed that. He was tailing hang on. He was tailing the cop.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I remember now.
The cop gets the phone call and they tell him what address to go to and and what's going to happen. They're going to kill him. They know who. Okay, so Matt rushes and gets there first and tells him, "Open the door. I'm a lawyer." Blah 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 blah. I was really hoping he was going to be like, "I'm a really good lawyer." I was really hoping he was going to say that, but he didn't. He calls Cherry, tells Cherry, "I'm on. Get here, and there's going to be a guy crucial to this case who's going to meet you there." Goes to the guy's house, tells him, "Get out of here now. They're coming to kill you. I've got a guy. Go with him." Okay, so we presume he's off with Cherry. Great. Cops show up, and Matt, does his Matt routine. Tough guy, legal, lawyerly. And the cops don't seem to care. They were going to kill him right then and there. Matt gets into a fisticuffs with these two cops. I'm presuming they're both cops.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Did you notice, and I'm sure you did, probably. You're not dumb. Matt notices on the wrist of one of them a skull tattoo.
A very specific
skull tattoo.
Punisher skull tattoo.
That's the one.
This is kind of the
so here we go.
The point I was going into is that we know we're getting the Punisher in this series.
We sure are.
He's been in trailers. I have been very adamant that Marvel does not need the Punisher anymore. I think the character is more problematic now than he's ever been, given where we are in society with guns.
Just guns. The problem is this:
the guns.
I mean, Carl, I wrote a song called "Guns."
Yeah.
I mean, it's you're preaching to the choir here. Yeah, let's get into that for. But
no, what I'm saying is like, so to bring back the Punisher. Initially, when I heard they were doing it, I was totally against it. But then, like, this thing happened, and my head went in the direction like, if they're going to use this to address the social phenomenon of co-opting the Punisher emblem to support theories and beliefs that are contradictory to everything that emblem represents. If they're going to use this show to address that, I am here for it.
Okay, now let me jump in. One, they're going to. I'm telling you, they're going to. Here's the thing. Not Ben Grimm. Here's the thing.
Yeah. Must be getting like, 'cause it took me like an extra half beat to get that joke.
We're going to talk about that Fantastic Four trailer. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, man. Punisher fan, you know I am. Okay?
I know you are.
I mean, you Mike Zeck right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Chef's kiss. They tried in the comics to do this. They did. There's a very famous page.
Yeah,
I
know what you're talking about.
And in that comic, they show the cops have the Punisher sticker on the car. Punisher tears it off and gives him this speech about we are not the same. You know, you don't. This can't represent you. I do what I do. You are not supposed to do what I do.
Yeah.
You are terrible for using me to represent what you are supposed to do.
Right.
That's great. Unfortunately, they're going to do it in the show now. They're going to do this, and I would be shocked if they don't do that exact soliloquy, beat for beat, almost at some point in this show. Love John Bernthal, even though I've said on this show that sometimes I think he's too yelly, screamy as the Punisher. I've come to just enjoy John Bernthal as an actor. The Bear, Chef's Kiss.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, no notes. Go watch The Bear. Again, we're going to talk about that Fantastic Four trailer. But, dude, you know, I got it. I'm happy that you're happy to see this attempted, but for me, I think Marvel has to let it go. The cat is out of the bag. You can't reclaim this. It's too far gone. They took it. They're not giving it back. And I don't know that you need to poke the bear to try.
I don't agree with any of that. I think that, I think it's a conversation worth having. I think there is, if you're driving around, probably in a truck, and
no,
you've got a sticker of the Punisher emblem on the back
9
of your
times
truck,
out of 10 with a blue stripe on it,
with either a blue stripe, a red stripe, or an American flag on it. You either lack a fundamental misunderstanding of what that skull symbol represents, and if you're watching this, maybe this will inform you. Either that or, and again, this is kind of where you and I differ as people. So we're not going to find common ground on this, and that's fine. I'm totally fine with us presenting both sides on it. You either lack a fundamental misunderstanding of what that symbol represents, or you understand what that symbol represents and you don't care.
Bingo.
I think there are both of those people out there. And I think that it's you can't just, at least to me, you can't just throw your hands up and say, I quit, and just say, go on with it. You have to keep trying to help people be better. You have to keep trying to explain things to people, because when we stop trying, when we stop talking, when we stop having conversations about concepts and ideas and philosophies, that's when everything you are afraid that is going to happen happens.
I hear you, and I admire your I admire your stance. The people you're talking about are not interested in those conversations. They are already where they are. That's why they put the sticker on the truck. They know what it means, and they want to apply what it means to what they want. They want the blue stripe on there. Because they want to be extrajudicial killers. They want to instill fear in the public because that's what they want to do. They want the Punisher skull to represent America because they want us to be they want people to think that they're tough and they should be afraid and that they're hard guys. They know. That's why they're using it. They're not ignorant, like, oh, Punisher's kind of cool. This is a neat design. No, that's like 3% of the people that are repping that are doing this. They know. They don't care. They're not going to engage with us on this discussion. They know what they're doing. They're not going to argue with you in good faith. They're not going to discuss with you in good faith, no matter how much we want them to. And this is I don't want to see. Remember the beginning of the show when I said I wasn't going to go here?
You know what then? To your point, I'll take the 3% because maybe the 3% can talk to the other 97%, and maybe they can get 3% more. And maybe from there, this is what art is for.
I get it.
This is one of the sole purposes art is for, is to create social change. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but that doesn't mean we don't try because it's probably not going to work.
You know what it feels like to me? Remember in Clerks 2? Remember Randall was like, no, it's okay. I'm bringing it back. I'm taking it back. You can't take it back. It's done. What's done is done. Did you know?
You're probably right.
This is my extreme example.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here, throw up my hands, and not even try.
I think they tried with that comic and it didn't work. And I don't know that doing it in the show is.
That doesn't mean you stop trying then.
But do you know why they're trying? It's not to have a discussion. They're trying because the Punisher is a valuable commodity in the MCU that they want to continue to monetize. That's why he's back. It's not because they want to remind people what he's about and try to steer social change away from the logo and other inappropriate context. No, they want to sell stuff with the skull on it.
That doesn't mean that can't be used to do some good. I'm not naive enough to sit here and think that they're have totally holy intentions on this thing. I know they got their product and they want to sell it. But if just maybe, we can change a couple minds on this thing, then to me that's worth it. I'm sorry if you want to be cynical about it and throw your hands up and just say, let them have it. I'm not there yet.
I've been there for years. As a fan, I can't get there anymore. Dude, they got it. They took it. They want it. I was going to make an extreme parallel, and I for the sake of the show, I'm not going to do it. But there's other symbols out there that used to mean other things, and then were used for nefarious purposes in history. You can't ever use it again. You ain't taking it back.
I get that.
It's too late. Cat's out of the bag. And I would love it. I would love the Punisher to just be a comic book character that I enjoy again. And by enjoy, you know what I mean. I'm not out here advocating for murder.
Yeah.
But as a storytelling character,
right?
I enjoy the stories. He's a monster. You put him up against worse monsters.
Right.
I get that. That's storytelling.
And that's kind of where we've always found common ground on why the character is so problematic to do in live action.
Right. It's hard.
Because you can't, you can't portray him as a protagonist.
Right.
He can't be
he can't be a sympathetic hero.
Yeah.
Because he's not.
Yeah.
He's a force of nature. And you have to kind of just accept that. Yeah. Ignore that. There. Okay. That just means we've gone over the length of the previous episode we did in August.
Woohoo.
Anyway.
So, all right. So,
sorry. That's our Punisher.
Wrapping up
aside.
Daredevil.
Matt beats the crap out of the cops. Violently, by the way.
We hear a crack.
We see the guy's arm bone pop out of his arm.
Yeah. He's going to need some Neosporin. Maybe a Band-Aid.
Maybe.
Give him a Star Wars Band-Aid.
So now Matt knows, he's in deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be fair, I don't know how he's going to get out of this situation.
Yeah.
They're probably going to arrest him.
I mean,
He beat the crap out of 2 cops. They're not going to let that slide.
They like kind of use, again, going back to the 2008 film, go ahead. Tell the guys at Rikers you got beat up by a blind guy.
Fair
You're like
enough.
blood in the water.
Fair enough.
You know, it's...
Yeah.
Are you guys really going to say that you got beat up by me, a blind guy? So I don't know. We'll be
see.
interesting what happens. Bottom line is, we're happy the show's back.
Oh, man.
We
Dude.
enjoyed the first 2 episodes.
Any concerns that, there was always a... Not for me. I felt very confident once they course corrected. We've already been over this. The whole question of how the heck it got so off rail that they felt the need to course correct. Yeah, that again, weird. I don't know what happened there, but they did, and I feel once they relayed that that's what happened, I felt very confident because I feel that and this is true throughout Marvel's history, comics into the new cinematic endeavor. They treat Daredevil as a very sacred cow. He's a crown jewel that people don't necessarily fully appreciate.
Yeah.
They take Daredevil very seriously. Very rarely do they willy-nilly just botch Daredevil in the comics.
Right.
No. If you get the Daredevil assignment, it's almost like you have to know the assignment going in. You are being entrusted with something, with a legacy that means something.
Right.
So the show, thankfully, 2 episodes in, feels like they got that message and they delivered. We're back.
So,
we're very much back.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
We'll close out on Daredevil on this.
Okay.
The chance of this happening is maybe 5%. Maybe. And that 5% is because they brought Luke Skywalker into Mando.
Okay.
What do you think the chances are of
Ben Affleck showing?
Not the end because it's 2 seasons, 9 episodes each season. Originally was intended as just 1 season. What do you think the chances are at the end of the season finale of the 2nd season? Matt's just beating on someone and he reels back with whether it's Fisk or Bullseye or whatnot, and he reels back with his billy club to deliver the finishing blow, and then all of a sudden you hear and a web line hits his hand, and then black.
Very, very no.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love it. You're talking to the person. Did we go see that movie together? No, we did not.
Which one?
The one with Matt. When?
Oh, Far From Home?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
You're talking to the person that when Matt Murdock showed up in that movie, I audibly yelped. I screamed like a girl. Oh my god! Like in a full theater.
Yeah.
No shame. I don't care. So I would love that. But unfortunately, I still think the live action Spider-Man rights are too weird.
Yeah.
And they can't do it. They won't or can't or won't. That's why they said like it was cool that they said in the show, someone dressed up in a spider costume.
Yeah.
Hey man, I know who they're talking
We're
about.
acknowledging the world this now exists.
Right. But I don't think Spider-Man's going to show up.
Okay.
And it's only because of rights. If it were up to Kevin Feige and they had Spidey wholesale, oh yeah, dude, let's go. Let's get Spider-Man and Daredevil team up all day long.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen. Oddly, though...
Wouldn't mind if She-Hulk showed up.
No, not at all. Oddly, though, and this is what's annoying about it, isn't it weird that relationship only seems to go one way? The Sony movies that Marvel makes, Matt can show up over there.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man cannot show up over here.
Well, rights are weird.
In other words, like Wilson Fisk, they could, pilfer him for the Spidey movie if they wanted. They could.
Yeah.
But again, Spider-Man could never show up in the Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, we're back.
We're back.
And I'm very happy. I don't know what the reception, like, you know, I don't know if I should care. Like, how are people feeling? How's the reaction been?
I think like, I'm barely, if ever, on Twitter anymore, so I couldn't tell you.
Good.
Yeah.
Don't be on Twitter. That's my PSA for today. Join Blue Sky. It's great.
I think it's been primarily positive.
Okay, good. It should be.
I think everyone seems to have the same problem with the opening fight.
Yeah. We acknowledged it. The CG I could do without, but the tone of it and the way it went down, I was very much for.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see a critic that I'm very much a fan of and who's a fan of these things. Not so. I mean, he gave it like a 7 out of 10, and kind of was just kind of meh on it. And some of his takes on it were like very shocking to me. So I guess that's just kind of why I'm wondering, like, what are people thinking about this? Because for me, what did you want here? Like, this is it. We're back.
Yeah, honestly, I think critics, they got a job. They're going to do what they're going to do. I don't think you should, and we're not necessarily reviewing. Once again, air finger quotes for our audio medium. We're not reviewing these episodes necessarily. We're just kind of sharing some thoughts on them and how we feel about them. I don't think for something
I'm not telling
like
you what
this,
to think.
You should necessarily review the first couple episodes, because it's like reviewing the first 10 minutes of a movie.
No, they did screen the entire season for people.
Oh,
him being one of them.
Okay.
So again, I was very surprised. This is a person that I actually think very highly of in their cinematic takes.
Okay.
Very, very smart person on YouTube.
Well, I mean, we got a lot of show left.
We got a lot of show left, and we'll see
where
where
I like the
it goes.
runtime of the shows. I like the longer episodes. Happier about that.
Episode 1 hour. 2 was 50
just
minutes.
Shy of an hour.
Yeah. That's fine. Right at 45 to an hour.
Give us some meat on those bones.
Just enough.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm here, man. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Daredevil's back. It feels right.
So now
seeing everybody back, I like, hell yeah, man. We're here. This is it. Charlie Cox, you are Daredevil for life to me.
Oh yeah. Okay, so put a cherry on top of that.
Boom.
Let's finish up talking about some trailers.
Sure.
2 trailers in particular, since we've graced the microphones. Both trailers, I would argue, are kind of the same trailer in that they're introducing vibes.
Yeah.
And they're showing that we understood the assignment. That is the trailer for Fantastic Four and the trailer for Superman. No longer titled Superman Legacy, now just Superman.
Yeah.
Once again, like I said, Daredevil's back, Marvel not so much.
Yet.
I think Fantastic Four looks like a very positive step in the right direction. I am more excited about this than anything I've seen of Marvel since probably Endgame.
I mean, to be fair, that 100% tracks. You should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the Fantastic Four. What else have they done since Endgame that has on that level? As a franchise, as a cornerstone.
Yeah.
Nothing. So if they botch this, like, we got problems. But no. We did not botch.
Yeah. I would say
we here.
I would say if they botch this, because there have been things that first trailers looked really great and then end product not so much.
True, but
I would say if they botch this, stick a fork in it. Because the 2 things that
you're right.
people are waiting for are Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Yeah. And X-Men, they've already kind of dipped toes in the water. We got, Deadpool, Wolverine. Even though that was more of a farewell to the way more of a farewell to the Fox era film than I was expecting.
It was a great love letter to the Fox era of superhero films, which, you know what?
ended poorly, but
had some fun high points to it.
when the initial promise of it was great, wasn't it?
But like, it wasn't, as far as like tying into Marvel, it really wasn't anything beyond that.
Not necessarily. No.
It just kind of fell in line with so much of what Marvel has been doing post Endgame, which is just play the hits. The second Patrick Stewart showed up in Doctor Strange 2, I was like, oh, this is what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get all the old people, because once again,
we've definitely talked about this. Yeah.
Multiverse.
Yeah. I feel you there, Hugh Jackman, till you're 90. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like a threat.
No, it's
it's a threat, dude.
so. But getting back to Fantastic Four, we have set in a 1960s.
See, Carl, as you just pooped on, you can have this because multiverse, and I love it. It's what it's like.
Everything about it looks right. Everything about it feels right.
Yes, sure does.
And I'm extremely excited about it. It feels like those first 10 years of Marvel. Like, those were the buzzing feels I got off this trailer.
Yeah.
And also there's the thought that, like, maybe Galactus eats this Earth at the end of it.
I had not considered that.
And then they get
wow. That's certainly an ending. Wow, I didn't think about that. Man, why you gotta get dark with it, Carl? Damn. It's so happy. It's such a fun trailer. You gotta take it dark.
Well, as we've established in this episode, I'm the dark one.
That was a theme on our return last year too. Yeah, man.
I think
did we discuss we probably got into the casting at some point in our last meeting or thereabouts.
Yeah, cast is great.
And now that I've seen them do the thing,
literally.
Yeah, man. Whoa, hang on. They didn't do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the thing is there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Everyone's great. There was some doubt about Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, but it's like, dude,
I don't think as much doubt as a little bit of Pascal fatigue is beginning to set in.
Listen, who doesn't love Pedro Pascal?
He's great.
He's great.
But he's kind of starting to sniff that Chris Pratt air. There's levels of fatigue. There's Chris Pratt, and then you get to Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, Pedro Pascal's nowhere near that level. Not even close.
I didn't say...
He's fine. He's fine. I think people just had a...
little bit of... You don't need to be in every single thing.
He's not in every single thing. He's just in a few things. And people are... Whatever, man.
Any major franchise is not in.
Nice gig if you can get it. I like Pedro Pascal. And curious note. You know why they cast him? Because in everything he's in, not everything, but in several things he's in, most notably like The Last of Us, most recently, I should say.
Yeah.
It's because he plays a really good paternal figure. He's a really good
father. What he does.
He's really good at being the dad. Guess what Reed is? He's the dad of the team.
I'm just saying, you don't have to be every single dad. Save some other dads. We can have other dads.
I'm here for it. Anyway, curious note in that trailer, the only powers we did not see in the trailer were his.
Right. Yeah.
Just interesting.
But like the design of it,
man, looks great.
Yeah.
Like 10 out of 10.
The look of the world,
the retro future world, beautiful.
Invokes the design passion in Batman 89.
I get, yes, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Those characters, like Batman, their world has to match because that world is a character in itself. And that is a great comparison. That world looks perfect for those characters.
What it is.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the thing that's got me excited the most?
Is it Richie as the Thing? Because it is for me.
No.
They put that cooking scene in just because of the bear.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Yeah,
you know that.
They know what they're working with. They know what they're cooking with.
Oh, I was so happy.
do you know what? Do you know what excites me most? Is the possibility that John Malkovich is playing Red Ghost. Do you know why?
Why?
Because that means we might get a return of John Malkovich, Rounder's Russian accent.
Pay that man his money.
No, not pay. Pay. Pay that man his money. Pay. Pay that thing his money.
Here's the thing. Again.
This is going to be a thing, isn't it? All the things.
We're so back. Anyway, Kevin Feige and Marvel are smart enough to recognize that, and they'll probably put it in the movie if that's the case.
I'm guessing if he's not Red Ghost, he's Puppet Master.
Fine, but you know what? Make him Red Ghost just so they can do that, and that way I can sit there in the audience and go, I understood that reference.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. My Captain America costume. Anyway.
This is my lair. In my lair, I will splash the pot whenever I want. Did you ever hear Matt Damon talk about when Malkovich first did that from on set of Rounders?
No.
He was like, they shot the first scene, and he did the accent, and Matt was kind of like, what's going on? Malkovich leaned over to him and whispered, I'm not a very good actor.
That's amazing.
That was great.
That's fantastic.
So, all right. So, yeah. It's fantastic. See.
See.
We're looking forward.
I'm very excited. And can we talk about spoiler stuff? I guess. Yeah, sure we can. Did you see the leaked concept art?
Yes. Yeah. Looks
some neat stuff going on.
Yep.
You might see some stuff.
Getting Stingray as Mole Man.
You might see some stuff. I'm just saying.
Yep. All right. So the second trailer got me even more excited than the Fantastic Four trailer.
You and I, if you listen to this show, you know that Carl and I have been very eagerly awaiting this. There's a lot riding on this.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of, what could it be? What's it gonna be?
Yep.
You really got to nail this. You really have to. I'm the one who left the theater after seeing Guardians 3. I think I said it on this show. I left the theater saying, I cannot wait to see this man's Superman movie.
Yeah.
And we got the glimpse.
The trailer got me rolling tears.
Yeah, I figured it would.
I mean, we all know I'm an easy cry.
You are. I didn't roll tears, but insta goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like
there's few things better in the superhero medium than when, and I say this as a lifelong diehard Spider-Man and Batman fan. There are a few things better in the superhero medium than when Superman is done right. And it's been a long time since Superman was done 100% right. There have been things here and there where they got,
close
aspects, close misses, but like this feels like there's two particular things in this trailer that makes me feel like they understand the character.
Well, can we preface this real quick?
Sure.
James Gunn said before we shot anything, he made the pitch for the job or whatever.
Yeah.
His big two primary influences on the script were Superman for All Seasons, Chef's Kiss.
Yep.
All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
Chef's Kiss. I'm kissing, okay? I'm
10
out of 10 stars, no notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching the trailer? Yep. Yep, that's what it is, all right.
He's
doing the thing.
He really is. And like that scene where Superman swoops in and covers up the kid.
Yep.
And the scene where the kid is putting up the flag and just whispering Superman because he knows Superman can hear him. It's just like, I'm going to bring a box of tissues.
You better. You're going to need it.
I'm going to be dehydrated.
You're going to be a mess. You're going to be a blubbery mess at this movie. I know you are. You are getting, and I saw from the very critic I just was surprised about that it was kind of mid on Daredevil.
Yeah.
He did a very incredible breakdown of why Superman needs to enter an in media res DCU currently. And it's basically, you want the meta of it all, is because all we've gotten for the last however many years is a what am I trying to say? A post-heroic deconstruction, a post-deconstruction interpretation of the superhero myth in media, in mass media. So everyone's cynical, everyone's, whatever. We're all in on it. Therefore, we can deconstruct it and make fun of it and blah 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 blah. That reflects our society today. So to make a Superman movie in the 21st century, you can't just have Superman show up in a world without heroes that don't know and have him be the man. No, man. We all are familiar with the concept.
Yeah.
You are now going to have him enter a world that is clearly full of super-powered people, but they are all kind of self-absorbed and self-interested. They're not necessarily 100%. What's the word? I'm an idiot. It's been a while since we've done this, and I'm not quite there with my thesaurus. They're not 100% altruistic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's just the world we live in now.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Superman in this world.
Right.
The ultimate antithesis of that. He's going to hit this world like lightning, okay? Lightning strike to all of this. He is going to show them all the better way. That's what this movie's going to be about. It's going to be about this world with these people, superpowered people, but they're not pure. He is. And now he's going to show them that he is. That's brilliant. It's almost a subversion of the character's. It is a subversion of the character's origin, because in history he was the first, therefore he is the icon. The Now, all of that stuff already exists. We need someone better. Who better than Superman? We're getting that. It's gonna be awesome.
In the words of Brian Cage, who better?
Who got it from Chris Canyon, by the way. But
yeah,
rest in peace.
And the music.
I'm generally not with modern interpretations of classical themes, songs.
Yeah.
Redone for trailer, impact. You know what I mean? Like the big trend is 90s songs now that they,
the choir, the children's choir singing "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Yeah.
Miss me. But this modern interpretation of the Superman Williams theme, okay.
It took me aback a little bit at first because that is my all-time favorite John Williams.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Is his Superman.
Sure. Tells you everything you need to know about the character.
And as much as Star Wars is my favorite film, his work on Star Wars is one 1B for me, but
Sure.
like that Superman score, the whole thing is just perfection.
Yeah.
So I'm very protective of that. And to me, that's like something you have to earn. And to put it in a trailer, I'm like, yeah, I haven't earned that yet. But it just, the way they did it works.
They Kenny Loggins it a little bit. Little bit. I think I broke you.
Wow. Just modern classic, and you
I mean,
Kenny Loggins it.
listen to it. Got a little danger zone in it.
That's right, Batman. I am dangerous.
Superman does a teeth snap, I'm in. Cinematic masterpiece. It looks awesome. Crypto showed up.
Crypto home.
Listen, I have 5.
Oh.
4. I said 5 because I had 5 up until a week ago. I got 4 dogs in this house. You're gonna put a dog in a Superman movie?
Yep.
Yeah, you got
Take
me.
my money.
Take my money. The sound you just heard, Carl, was a million Snyder Bros crying.
Listen, they have their films they can go back to.
Yeah,
We are of all of them.
You're going to give me a Superman movie with crypto? Okay, we know what we're doing here. It's going to be great. I just, there's no way it's mid. There's just no way.
Well,
No. I feel like the people in charge know the assignment.
So far they've shown they have, but I'm not gonna say it's impossible that it fails.
I don't know, man. I feel like they know what they got to do, and they wouldn't have even begun filming if they weren't 100% certain that they could do it. They're gonna do. You know what they're gonna do, and it's gonna wreck me. Sorry. They're gonna do that page with the girl on the rooftop on the ledge of the building, about to throw herself off from All-Star Superman.
Yep.
And Superman's gonna show up behind her and tell her everything's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna lose it because it's so good. Read All-Star Superman, everybody. Did I like Superman as a kid? Yeah, I liked the movie, like most kids of my age. I did not care a lick about Superman as a comics reader most of my life. Okay, I'm just full disclosure. It just so happens that my favorite writer in the history of comics took an assignment on Superman because, by the way, Superman's his favorite character too. And that made me, the Superman skeptic, go, okay, I'll read it. And by the end of the first issue, I was like, oh, I think I like Superman now?
Yep.
By the end of the 12th issue, I said, Superman forever.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
Yep.
This is the thing. If you can do this with this character... See, it all comes back to the thing. If you can do this, and you can show that it can be done, you can make this Boy Scout overpowered, all the critiques you can level at Superman.
Yeah.
He's hard to write. He's overpowered. We don't know how to do a good story about him. Try harder, man. It can be done. Anyway, the fact that is such a big influence on the movie coming up, I just have all the faith in the world that they're gonna nail it, man. I believe.
Hope so.
I believe they're gonna nail it.
His Creature Commandos series, was really fun.
Okay,
really entertaining. Yeah. So, okay, cool. I think we've gone on long enough.
I mean, it's about 140.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Stop. I appreciate the reference, but Aaron Lewis is just the worst. The worst.
Listen, everybody's the worst.
I'm not.
But maybe if you just sit down and talk with them, try to hash it out.
No,
keep talking. When we stop talking, they win.
You don't want to talk to me. He don't want to talk. That dude don't want to talk. He just wants to be aggrieved. Anyway,
yeah, this was fun.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen. This show is at its best when you and I are like right on the edge of like a legitimate argument.
I'm never going to argue with you to that level, Carl. I just can't.
We
might disagree, but I'm not going to go at you.
Yeah. We're going to try. I know you've heard it from us in the past. We're going to try. But with Daredevil being back, that's a little bit added motivation.
Listen, if I said it earlier in this episode, if the show remains good, I'm going to be very apt to be like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
I will forego almost anything so that we can talk about it because I feel like we should. It's what bore the show. This show was born out of that program being a thing.
Yep.
It's back now. We should be back. At least for that.
At least for that.
At least for Daredevil.
So,
for Matt's
folks,
sake.
We're back, but here's a question. Are you back? Are you back with us? Are you listening to us? Is there anything you want to know? Is there any comments you have on anything we've said? Is there anything you want to add to the discussion? There's a couple forums in which you can do that. First off, you can find us on Facebook, like our page, The Devils Do Pod.
Are people still on Facebook? I am, but kind of.
Use it primarily for Messenger.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Or probably the best and easiest way to reach us is at our email.
Email is completely ideologically agnostic. Email us.
Yeah. thedevilsdopod@gmail.com. Don't even bother with our Twitter page. I can't even think about the last time I looked at it.
If y'all got Blue Sky and want us to start a Blue Sky for the show,
let us know.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. That's get off Twitter, man.
Do we need an Instagram for the show?
No, but if you want to hit me on Instagram, you can.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram too. I don't really post much.
I do when I feel like
I usually just use it for miniature painting.
That's fine. That's
looking
fine.
at different techniques and whatnot.
You can hit me up. I'm at the Long Cold Dark. Hit me up.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for coming back. And until then, court's adjourned.